Welcome back to Book with Joys, the show where we unpack love, attachment, and everything that shapes the way we connect with others. Today we're diving into a topic that's been getting a lot of attention lately. Love bombing. If you've ever felt swept off your feet in a relationship that started like a fairy tale but quickly turned into confusion, anxiety, or even heartbreak, you may have experienced love bombing. But here's the big question. How do you know if it's love bombing or the beginning of real love? By the end of this episode, you'll know the difference, understand why love bombing is so powerful, and have practical tools to protect yourself while moving toward healthier love. What is love bombing? Love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with excessive affection, gifts, compliments, or attention very early in a relationship. It feels intoxicating because your brain gets flooded with dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals linked to bonding and euphoria. Suddenly, you feel like you've found the one. But here's the catch. Love bombing isn't really about you. It's about control. The person doing it often wants to hook you quickly, to create dependency before you can see the reality of who they are. Example, they might text you dozens of times a day, talk about moving in together after 2 weeks, or say things like, "I've never felt this way about anyone before," even though you just met. On the surface, it looks romantic. But under the surface, it's a strategy that often masks insecurity, control issues, or even manipulation. What does real love look like? Now let's contrast that with real love. Real love often feels very different at the start. It might even feel a little boring. Why? Because it's steady, consistent, and rooted in reality instead of fantasy. Here's what real love looks like. Instead of grand gestures, there are small, reliable ones. Instead of rushing the relationship, there's a pace that allows trust to grow naturally. Instead of promising you the world, a real partner shows you through consistent actions. Instead of making you feel anxious when they disappear, real love feels calm because you know they'll show up again. Example. Rather than sending 100 texts in a week, they check in regularly and remember the little details of your life. Instead of love bombing with a surprise trip after a month, they plan thoughtful, realistic dates that build connection over time. Real love isn't about intensity. It's about intimacy. And intimacy grows slowly, like roots under the soil. Why we fall for love bombing? If love bombing is so unhealthy, why does it feel so good at first? This has a lot to do with attachment wounds from childhood. If you grew up craving closeness but fearing abandonment, that anxious part of you is highly sensitive to attention. Love bombing feels like finally being seen. If you learned emotions weren't safe, love bombing can bypass your guard with intensity, making you feel special in a way you've longed for. And if you've never experienced steady, secure love, love bombing can trick you into thinking intensity equals intimacy. It's also chemical. Your brain gets hooked on the highs, dopamine when they shower you with attention, and cortisol when they suddenly pull away. That push-pull dynamic creates a cycle of addiction. And here's the truth. Love bombing works because it plays on our deepest human need, to be loved, chosen, and safe. How to spot the difference? So, how do you really know if what you're experiencing is love bombing or real love? On the surface, they can look very similar. Both might start with attention, compliments, excitement, and a sense of connection. But if you pay close attention, the differences become very clear. Let's break them down. 1. Pace of the relationship. With love bombing, the pace feels rushed. Someone you've just met may start talking about forever within days or weeks. They might say things like, "I've never felt this way before," or, "I know you're the one for me," before they've really gotten to know you. They may push to define the relationship quickly, labeling you as exclusive or even talking about marriage and kids almost instantly. And here's the thing. It's not that real love can't involve strong feelings early on. But real love respects timing. A healthy partner will want to move forward at a pace that feels comfortable for both of you. They'll give space for you to actually get to know each other's values, lifestyle, and long-term goals. Think of it like planting a seed. Real love waters the soil and lets the plant grow naturally. Love bombing tries to dump a bucket of water on the seed and expects a full-grown tree overnight. Ask yourself, do I feel pressured to keep up with their pace? Or do I feel like we're both choosing this rhythm together? 2. Consistency versus intensity. Love bombing often feels like big highs followed by confusing lows. One week you're their entire world. They're texting non-stop, planning trips, showering you with compliments. And then suddenly there's distance. Messages slow down, affection pulls back, or they become moody and unavailable. This push-pull creates a roller coaster dynamic. And while it can feel intoxicating in the highs, the lows often leave you anxious and questioning yourself. What did I do wrong? Why are they pulling away? Real love, in contrast, is marked by consistency. It may not always feel like fireworks, but it feels steady. A partner who's genuinely interested in you will show up regularly. Not just when it's convenient for them, not just when they want to win you over, but because they truly care. Consistency may feel less exciting at first, especially if you're used to emotional roller coasters, but it's the foundation of trust. Ask yourself, do I feel like I can rely on this person's presence, or am I constantly waiting to see if they'll disappear? 3. Focus of attention. This one is subtle but powerful. In love bombing, the focus is often on them, how they feel about you, what you mean to them, how much you complete them. You'll hear a lot of I statements. I've never met someone like you. I can't live without you. You make me feel amazing. Notice how the emphasis is less about actually knowing who you are, and more about how you make them feel. Real love looks very different. Real love is marked by genuine curiosity. A healthy partner wants to understand your inner world. They'll ask questions. What lights you up? What scares you? How do you like to spend your time? They'll care about your boundaries, your needs, and your pace. Instead of telling you how perfect you are for them, they'll want to learn about the real, imperfect you. Ask yourself, do I feel truly seen for who I am, or mostly admired for how I make them feel? 4. Your feelings in your body. This might be the most important test of all. With love bombing, your body often feels anxious or pressured. You might feel swept away, almost like you're on a speeding train that you didn't buy a ticket for. There's a sense of urgency, intensity, even chaos. Like if you don't keep up, you'll lose them. With real love, your body usually feels calm, safe, and steady. That doesn't mean there aren't sparks or excitement. Of course there can be. But beneath it all, there's a sense of peace. You feel grounded. You don't feel like you have to perform, guess, or chase to keep their attention. Sometimes, if you're used to chaotic relationships, this calm can feel almost boring at first. But that boring feeling is actually your nervous system learning what safety feels like. Ask yourself, do I feel like I can breathe deeply with this person, or do I constantly feel on edge? Here's the truth. Love bombing and real love can look similar in the beginning. Both involve attention, affection, and a sense of closeness. But over time, real love slows down, steadies out, and deepens. Love bombing, on the other hand, tends to fade or collapse once the intensity wears off. The key is not just listening to their words, but watching their patterns. Do their actions match their promises? Do you feel safe to be your authentic self? Do you feel calm and secure rather than anxious and unsure? Because at the end of the day, real love doesn't leave you guessing. It leaves you feeling safe, seen, and valued. Practical steps to protect yourself. If you suspect you're being love-bombed, here are ways to ground yourself. Slow down. You have the right to move at a pace that feels safe. Real love will never rush you. Check consistency. Don't just listen to words. Watch if their actions line up over time. Notice your body. Do you feel calm with this person, or constantly on edge? Your nervous system is a powerful truth teller. Keep your world. Don't drop your friends, hobbies, or routines just because someone is flooding you with attention. Communicate. A healthy partner will respect your boundaries when you say, "I need to slow things down." A love bomber will pressure or guilt you. Remember, protecting yourself isn't about being cold or closed off. It's about choosing love that's safe, steady, and real. Love bombing may look like a dream at first, but it often ends in confusion and pain. Real love, on the other hand, may start quietly, but it grows into something unshakable. So the next time you're swept up in new romance, ask yourself, am I being drawn into intensity, or am I building intimacy? Thanks for tuning in to Book with Joys. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, remember, real love doesn't rush. Real love builds. And real love feels like peace.